Hi everyone, another walk in Reinden Wood today, but I thought I'd go the opposite way to how I normally go, so I'm going down some very leafy, muddy slope here, trying to avoid the actual mud. You can hear the traffic because we're very close to the car park. Yeah, so let's go the opposite way this time and let's have a chat, why don't we? Let's have a chat about life. Last time I was here, I was walking down a path and I could hear over a ridge, I could hear sort of like feet walking over leaves. It was like or moving through leaves. I think it was an animal, but when it came to editing, my camera didn't pick up on the noise, so it made it seem as if I was just pointing the camera at nothing. I also did a kind of monologue about certain things, but I didn't want to show that part because it would have made it too long, but also I had a bogey on my nose and I didn't realise I did. So I've come along. So I've actually been up all night because I slept most of the day yesterday because I was up all night the day before. I'm such a night owl. I really am not good at staying on a routine and going to bed and getting up in the morning. So I thought this morning I will actually get myself out, because I haven't been out the house for a few days, and get myself to the wood, have a good old walk around, and yeah, this is a very, again, an impromptu visit to the woods. And I like to come to the woods. Oh, just seen a squirrel. I will turn the camera around at some point because obviously the woods is much more pleasing to the eye than this mug. No baseball cap today because it's not very sunny. But yeah, I'm seeing quite a few squirrels, so I will turn the camera around now. Yeah, so life has been up and down this last few weeks. After I went to the woods last time, following that I had a very, very difficult few days. The flashbacks were very intense. The overwhelming depression was very intense, and I had to sort of say to myself, look, Eri, you're always going on about how much you would like to have there's a squirrel. Would like to have a cabin in the woods somewhere away from people and never have to deal with people again. Yeah, I say that a lot, but in truth, I need people in my life, and I needed people in my life over those next few days. So I actually did speak to people and I said, I need help. Please help me. Somebody has left a hollow pumpkin out here. Remember I said last time, helps to fertilise the ground. And maybe those little pumpkins that I threw about last time might still be around. I'm not exactly sure whether they will, or I can't remember exactly where I put them, but obviously I can look at the video, but I don't want to do that now. Just on the way down here. Oh, so we're running about there. And there's one up in the tree. It's just, oh, it's jumping from tree to tree. They are scurrying about at the moment. Bless them. Oh, I did bring some more of those fruit cookies, so I might get those out in a little bit. And might even eat one myself. Look at that view. Just walking down there. It looks longer and more distant than it actually is. Always gives like the depth perception a different perspective. Every time I come here, it always looks bigger and longer than it really is. But yeah. There was a subject I also touched on in the last video that I edited out, as I mentioned. Now, that subject, it's something that has really got to me, because when people pass away, they need help and support around them. The friends of the people who have been bereft will feel it too, understandably. it's not nice, and it's very hard on the friends to see someone that they love and care about go through something horrific. But it also is difficult on the friends because the person that their friend was will never come back, will never be the same. And what a lot of people try and do is they do some, I call it rallying. It's when they try and cheer the widow up. They try and cheer the bereft up. The way I illustrated that is, think what you will of Little Britain. You know, it had its day and it's very controversial now. But there is one sketch in there, not with recurring characters. I can't remember what the characters were called, but one of them was a widow, and sitting with her was either her sister or her friend, I'm not sure who. David Williams played the widow, and Matt Lucas played the, I'm going to say a sister. And this woman was crying every time Matt Lucas's character tried to rally her. Now, what the character was doing was saying, let's make a cup of tea, which is a very British thing to do. Let's watch telly. And going sort of like, yeah, you know. And everything was reminding the widow of her late husband. And it was done in a very melodramatic way for laughs. But do you know what? It's very, very true. A lot of people will say to their friend, come on, let's watch telly and have a cup of tea, and they think that they're all better. They think if someone is going out and doing what I'm doing and going for a walk, that it makes everything okay again. Of course it doesn't. The best thing that a friend or a family member can say to the widow is, how can I help? Ask them what they want. Don't try and say to them, let's have a cup of tea, let's go out for a walk, let's do this, let's do that, because that's you trying to say, hurry up and get back to who you were. Hurry up and cheer up. The best thing you can do is listen. The best thing you can do is ask them what they need from you. When my died, I messaged my brother to tell him, and he said, how can I help? The best thing anyone can say, and I absolutely adore my brother, he's amazing. And what I needed wasn't someone to come around and make me a cup of tea. I needed a lift to the hospital. And I asked, please, could you help me with that? When people try and rally the widow, it's their way of trying to fast track the return of the old person. And that's not a good thing. The widow needs time, and they will never be the same again. And if you think that the widow is now boring or you can't handle this new person, I'm very sorry, but that's life. People don't always stay the same. Situations don't always stay the same. People move on and change. People move away, they get into new relationships, they break up, they do all kinds of stuff. Nobody is ever going to stay the same. And if you are a good friend, you'll respect that. You may not like it. You may not have the friend there that you would like to have. So many people in Widowed and Young have said that their friends have been exactly like that with them. They've said to them, oh God, when are you going to get out of this bloody funk? When are you going to get out again? When are you going to cheer up? When are you going to stop wallowing in all this? And someone from my bereavement group said, yeah, people are like, oh God, she's still banging on about it. It's been years now. Fuck off. You don't get over something like this. It's deep and it's chronic. It's so hard. I cannot tell you how painful it is, and the emotions are so intense you cannot push them down, you cannot control them, you cannot just go, do you know what, I'm gonna bite my lip and get on with it. You can't do that. It terrifies me that there are so many men who commit suicide. And it's just so horrible that people don't feel there's any other way out. And why men? Is it because men are taught to not show emotion, and to cry and talk about their feelings is not seen as very masculine? It's not on. People need mental health support, and sometimes it's either pride or conditioning or society that has prevented them from getting the help, and therefore they felt no other way out other than to take their life, and that scares me. I would encourage any men out there who are experiencing huge issues with mental health, bereavement, job issues, drug abuse, anything like that, to please seek help and know that showing emotion doesn't make you less of a man. It's human. You're human. And I actually think it's a good thing that we are now not looking at people as their gender. Pronouns are now no longer there to pigeonhole people into, you are this gender, therefore you must behave like this and you're expected to do that. And if you put gender aside, look at a person as a person and not as their gender. Just giving you a view of where I am. It's so beautiful. This lovely autumnal leaves. When my wife was under palliative care, now people don't understand that hospices, they do a lot more for people in the community than they do inpatient care. And what they do is they come and assess you as to what your needs are, and then they have other companies to come and give you mobility aids and other things around the house to make your life easier. And that's what they did for Em, because she couldn't, because her edema was such that at her hip joint she couldn't bend her knees or her hips very well because she was just full of fluid. So several mobility aids were ordered, and one of them was a memory foam mattress topper. And the day it arrived, I went to the door of the building where we live, and the van turned up, and a man of about, I think he was about 60 years old, got out of the passenger side, and his colleague who was driving got out the other side. And the passenger, I'm just going to call him man number one because he was the main person, he said hello to me, and then his colleague, man number two, started coughing quite a lot. He was really coughing, like smoker's cough. Man number one said, "Don't worry, he's just dying." I felt like really saying something at that point, because there was someone upstairs who was actually dying. But I thought, no, bite your tongue. Don't say anything. He opened up the back of the van and took out a rolled up memory foam topper in cellophane, hoisted it onto his shoulders and started walking towards the building. And I said to him, look, if you just put it here at the entrance, I can haul it up the stairs. And he said to me, nope, you won't be able to get up the stairs. He said it with such certainty, no, you won't be able to get up the stairs. And I said, oh, I will. And he put it down and he said, it's just very big. And I said, look, I hauled up 2 armchairs up these stairs and assembled them myself. I can do this. And he said, oh, good girl. And I got hold of the topper and I got it up the stairs, and he came in after me with some other things. And he said, oh, you could be a landlady. I was really not happy with him, but I thought, don't be rude. I said only one thing to him, and that was, don't ever underestimate a strong woman. And I hope he remembers that, because if I'd been a man, he would not have said that to me. And that whole good girl thing, oh God. When the occupational nurse, a therapist nurse came round, I told her what he said, and she wasn't happy either, and yeah, he was spoken to. Because people really shouldn't be assuming that because you are of a certain gender that you can't do stuff. And of course, men are physically stronger than women, generally, because of differences in hormones, you know. And that's not something that's, you know, it doesn't make anyone better or not better. It's just how nature works. But that doesn't mean that a woman can't do stuff. Walking in reverse is a bit, not too different really, because a lot of the views are very samey. So if I turn around now, again, you know, it's not too different. I know where I'm going. I just decided to go in reverse for the first time. And I think we're getting to the part now where I drop kicked that pumpkin. I can't kick anything to save my life. And it actually hit it didn't hit my toe, it hit just below my toe, which is why it hurt. And those things are like rocks. They are hardy. So I'm going to see if there's anything left of it. I'm not assuming there would be, because yes, it was small and hardy, but I'm pretty sure that creatures would have done something with it. So it was around about here. There might be nothing left of it. And yeah, it's probably covered in leaves anyway, whatever might have been left of it. Can't see anything bright orange. Somebody may have come along and seen it and taken it anyway, so, but no, it's not there. Either way, I'll leave it to the animals to do with as they want. It's a lot closer than it looks on camera. Not talking much, just enjoying the walk. It's so lovely. I mean, look at the tree line. And those are trees in the background. It feels so small. Everything's so big. But I don't feel intimidated or anything. Do you know, this reminds me of when you drive through places where there's loads of buildings and they're very, very built up either side of you, and they feel like they're towering over you, you can feel quite intimidated, or at least I do. But when I'm in nature and I'm around these structures, I don't feel intimidated. I feel quite okay, actually. I feel very happy and relaxed. I think I look a bit fresher than I did last time because I've not long had a shower, and I've been looking after myself a bit more, a bit better, not just in terms of hygiene and and skincare, but my diet has been a bit better. Not this last few days because I've not been feeling too great. I've got a slight chest infection, I'm not sure. But I've been making a lot of Italian food. I love Italian food. And there's actually a YouTube channel called Pastagramma that I discovered when I received my vegetable box from Oddbox, and it had some aubergines in it, and I had no idea what to do with them. And so I looked up any recipes, and I found Pastagramma. There was a video about them making a 5-course meal based on aubergines, and I've tried 4 out of 5 of those recipes a few times, and oh my god, it's amazing. And I see food as kind of, it's art that you can eat, because you're creating, aren't you? Yes, you're following a recipe, but it's still unique, it's still you, and you get to eat it. So like these clearings and stuff, I suppose you could go up into them, but I don't really want to navigate all that. Knowing me, I will fall, and there's not a lot of space in between the trees, so sticking to the path is probably the best thing. Just keep walking. Keep on walking. I'm hearing some sort of blackbird, I think I saw it, making some cheepy noises. Yeah, more squirrels scurrying about. Haven't seen any bunny rabbits or foxes or anything like that. Just birds and squirrels. That's fine though. You can't force it, can you? Has anyone here seen Watership Down? Yeah. My big sister and her husband, they showed it to me and my sister when we were, I think 5. I was 5 and she was 7. And I was terrified. It amazes me that that thing is a U. It should be at least a PG. It's pretty much akin to a horror. All the blood and death and everything. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong, and it's actually somewhat addictive. Once you've seen it, you sometimes want to watch it again to get the same sort of feel of the culture of the rabbits and everything, but at the same time it's so scary. But that kind of thing shows nature's ugly side, but at the same time it's not exactly quote ugly, it's more showing that things happen in nature that aren't always picturesque or beautiful, but there is a balance to it. Like Frith says, there is not a day or night that a doe doesn't offer her life for her kittens, or some honest captain of Owsla his life for his chief. Whatever is, must be. And things are as they are. You can't bargain, you can't try and offset things, you just have to let things happen as they happen. And like the bunny rabbits and the squirrels and the prey animals, they will be prey. There's a squirrel there and a robin, and I didn't capture the robin. I will hold it now facing outwards so you don't have to look at my mug. And what's that little, I don't know what type of rabbit, I don't know what type of bird that is. It's but anyway, let's just carry on. Talking about art projects is the lady who made the memory bear, I told her I would make a bear out of polymer clay for her in the style of the bears that she makes, and send it to her. And I haven't got around to doing that yet because I was finishing another project for someone else. Oh, what was that? And so I need to get on that now. I actually bought a big suitcase, like a metal tool case, I suppose, for all of my polymer clay stuff. I can't move it, it's so heavy. So I'm going to try and lighten it by making more models. And eventually, if I get to the point where the models are such that I can display them, then that'll be great. It's getting on for a year, nearly. And one of my closest friends has offered to have me over for Christmas dinner, which is really lovely of him. And on New Year's Day, which is the day after my wife passed, because we can't make it for New Year's Eve, we're going to go and spread some bee bombs and seeds up on the Hawkinge Hills where my wife grew up. And that will be a really lovely way of commemorating her. And another thing that she used to love, I mean, she loved Christmas, but she always marked Christmas, like the 1st of December was always, we had to watch Home Alone 1 and 2. And halfway through December again, we watched Home Alone 1 and 2. And then on Christmas Day, we watched Home Alone 1 and 2. So we never watched the other ones, just the first two. And she loved Christmas films, especially the sappy ones. You know, I can't stand those ones, those really over-the-top, sweet, saccharine, just, ugh. No. I like Home Alone, and I like Muppet Christmas Carol. Possibly Nightmare Before Christmas, but I actually like films like Krampus, which I think got a little bit goofy. Maybe not much, but it did get a bit goofy. I think this was where I put down one of the pumpkins. Let's not forget, it has been several weeks, so there probably is nothing much of it there. I put it down over there. But yeah, I'm glad if they've rotted into the earth. Yeah, as I said before, I have been there before. I don't know, I can't remember whether there was a no admittance sign when I went there before with the wife about 15 years ago or so, whether we just went there anyway. I was just following them. But yeah, we have been in there. But I'm not going to go in there now in case I get in trouble. So just follow the path. Just keep walking. I don't know if this gives kind of ASMR vibes when crunching of cobbles and leaves and footsteps. And also the ambience of the slight wind in the trees and the cheeping of the birds. Can hear slight traffic in the distance. So again, there's no admittance up that way, so I have to go this way. I think you'd agree that I seem a lot more perky today, and yeah, definitely, I'm feeling it, but it goes up and down and all over the shot. The undercurrent is still there, but it doesn't always affect the surface. but sometimes it does. And last time I was here, it came right up to the surface and created a tsunami of emotions. Whereas today, I certainly feel the undercurrent, but I'm able to ride over it. Just skim over the surface. I'm okay-ish. I'm okay. Sounds weird to say it. I am okay. At least now. Some things that have really, really helped is, and I put a post up about this on my True Crime channel, that watching feel-good comedy and stand-up comedy, just giving me that extra laugh, has really, really helped. After Em died, a mutual friend came down and we were just watching telly, and Netflix recommended Philomena Kunk, and oh my god, and me howling. I hadn't laughed like that for months. And I also discovered the comedian Richard Franks, who does the character Mum, and oh my god, I absolutely adore him. He's amazing. His character Mum is so unique in that, yes, he's cross-dressing, but his character is a relatable, very realistic character, albeit slightly exaggerated. He's amazing, and I've met him because he's actually local to me, and I saw him in town, and I went up to him and I said, I'm sorry, I have to say, you know, I really, really like your content. I think you're brilliant. And also Pastagramma, as I've said, I love Pastagramma, the channel, but I love Harper and Ava. Their chemistry is so amazing, and they're such a cute couple. They are so adorable. And also Novimpia, discovered them probably before my wife died, but I saw the Mrs. Crocombe parody, didn't think much more of it after that. I thought that's brilliant, but left it like that. And then I discovered they also did a parody of Pop and Atelier, and I then checked out more of their stuff and totally fell in love with them. Like with Ava and Harper from Pastagramma, Nova and Olympia are so damn cute as a couple. I see a lot of similarities between both of those couples and my wife and I. That kind of banter, that thing where you bounce off each other and you love each other, but you know, you have your moments and everything like that. But I miss that. I really do miss that. I miss just being in the same room as her, even if we say nothing to each other. I miss it. There is actually a very real phenomenon called widow's fire, where someone who has been bereft of their spouse due to hormonal changes, I know people are going to probably laugh at this, but it's a real physiological reaction to grief, that they become very amorous and desire sex, love, closeness. And some people act on that, some don't. Some people experience it, some don't. And the problem with it, though, is, yeah, if you're horny, go get you some, you know, why not? But the issue there is because what you're actually craving is love and companionship, and you're craving that closeness again. It leaves you vulnerable to potentially getting into a toxic relationship or into a situation where you're going to have people take advantage of your vulnerable state. And it's not good to just go with the first person who will have you just because you don't want to be alone. It's not good to settle because you don't think anyone else will have you. That you think, well, this is as good as I'm going to get. I need to be careful. I don't want to marry again. I actually don't want to be with anyone else again. But that doesn't mean that I haven't felt that I want to have that special thing again like I had with my wife. But I don't think I could have that with anyone else because that was so unique to us. Yet so many people who have been widowed do find their second soulmate afterwards. And that's brilliant. Like a friend of mine who runs the bereavement group, she lost her husband 7 years ago, and she has now got a new partner. Well, I say new, they've been together 4 years. And he lost his wife 10 years ago, and they met via Widowed and Young, which is the charity I've joined. And the thing is, they know and understand what the other is going through. And I'm really, really glad they've met and they found each other. That's brilliant. But whether that will happen for me, I have no idea. Someone once said to me years ago, the right one will come along when you least expect it. And oh my God, was that true? Because every girlfriend I'd had up to the point that I met my wife, I always met them at a gay bar or gay club. But with my wife, I met her at work. And when we met, I was not looking for anyone else, definitely not, because I had only just come out of a relationship and it was not a good breakup. It was not a happy time. I was really heartbroken because this was someone I wanted to marry. This was someone to whom I was going to propose. I was head over heels in love and I'd had my heart stomped on. It wasn't good. So I went to a work do, which was James Bond themed, and they went all out. And I turned up with, I was wearing blazer trousers and shirt that did up all the way to the top. It was ever so slightly pink. It was mostly white, but ever so slightly pink. And when I turned up, I was one of the first people there, and I said to the casino company, do you have a spare bow tie? Because they were all wearing bow ties. So they gave me a spare bow tie, which was really nice of them. And then walked around all evening, could not find another female there wearing trousers. I was the only female there wearing trousers, and I couldn't, I was thinking, what? Every single woman there was in a cocktail dress, except for me and except for the wife. We just locked eyes while we were outside. We were both wearing black blazer and trousers, white shirt and a bow tie. And we later found out that we both got the blazer and trousers from New Look. They were exactly the same ones. And we're like, my God, we're matching. So we kind of walked around all night together, and at the end of it, she did lean in to kiss me, and I said no. Didn't want that, not at that stage. She was cool about it. We exchanged numbers. We were friends for 6 months. And in that time, my feelings for her grew. And she said that from the off, she had feelings for me right from the off, whereas mine grew over time. We got together. She proposed to me 6 months later. We got married 18 months after that. And then she died 14 and a half years later. So when I met the wife, I was not at all looking for anyone. I was not ready for a relationship. I'm not one of those people that can go from relationship to relationship. I need time in between. I don't lose my feelings for someone that quick, and I can't develop feelings for someone when another person is already there. If something like that happens again, that's the point I'm trying to make, if something like that happens again where I meet someone when I very much least either expect it or when, you know, I'm not looking for anyone, but they just happen to turn up and I happen to make a friend, because they'd have to be a friend, I wouldn't get straight into a relationship. If that were to happen, great. But I am not going to go out of my way to look for someone. It's only been a year. I am nowhere near ready to let anyone into my life. I will admit I have felt widow's fire, but I can sort myself out. I'm alright with that. It's a perfectly natural, physiological response when grief is so overwhelming and what's been taken away from you, you want more than anything in the world. But there's no point in wanting someone back that can't come back, because it's not going to happen. So maybe I need to love myself in more ways than one and appreciate myself before I even think about ever having love again. The friend that was with me when I was watching Film in a Kunk said to me, don't close your heart off to love in the future, Eri. But I told him, nope, not happening. Never again. But if anything, how the wife and I met, how things are right now has definitely brought it on home to me that you really do not know what's going to happen at all at any point, ever. And you might feel you're on this journey that's going to end in 50 years or something like that. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. Just enjoy the moment. That's why I like coming here. It's about enjoying the moment. Speaking of which, I'll show you where I am now. So that's another MOD area over there, but as we walk forward, you can see that the forest is very, very deep. So that's where the MOD place goes, right down there. I'm not going to go down there. So I'm going to walk down this path, but on my left, this is where we saw that large teepee the first time. I can hear traffic, or I can hear something. So we're not too far from the car park. There's a farm equipment. Yeah, there's something that's coming closer. I haven't noticed that before. Probably an old remnant or something from the war. There's a tree that's been uprooted. Just going to keep filming this forest so you can see. And on this side, there's a field a few meters ahead of me, and I think that's where that noise is coming from. It's a farm equipment, I think. Yeah, I really do apologise for that noise, but I think it's they're ploughing or doing something to that field over there, and that's what we can hear. But hopefully as we move further, we won't hear it so much. You can, if you want, you can explore that, I suppose. Because there's nothing to say you can't go in there. But I don't think I really want to. Because there's no sort of direction, like where you're going to go. You're going to lose your way, and are you going to end up on an MOD path, and you need to come back to the right path and all that. This wood isn't very big and it's not very eventful. There's no playgrounds or anything like that here. There's no entertainment, there's no cafes. It's just the wood. So you come over here and sort of set up somewhere and have a picnic, or kids run around, or just take a walk. And I suppose in some ways people might see it as kind of boring, but I just love being in the woods. It's just a nice walk, and you just take time to just chat and or talk to the camera. Make a vlog. Make a teepee if that's what you want to do. Try and film some fungus, which I've not really seen. Normally I do that. I'm always looking at a fungus when I'm here. Might see some on the way back. That's the teepee. Still there. And then there's the bunker down there. Let's keep going. Squirrel over there. Yeah, it's starting to get nice and sunny now. Again, can't go down here, but that looks like a really nice inviting path. Look at all that, those leaves, because that's not been walked on. Imagine the crunch as I walk down there. But no, we're going to walk down this way. It's quite leafy down, a bit further down, so I haven't slept. I actually slept during the day. I woke up at about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I haven't been to bed. It's now, I think, just after 9. I left my home just before 7 to avoid like the major part of rush hour and the school run, and I kind of did, but there was a lot of students. Yeah, it is definitely getting brighter, and by the time I get home, rush hour will be over. Just seen someone with their dogs, and they came up and the dog jumped up at me, and he was apologising, and I said, look, don't worry, I'm one of those people that I don't mind it at all, because I love dogs. I really wish I could have a dog, but cats just suit my lifestyle better. And I am what Jackson Galaxy called bipedal, where I don't have a preference for dogs or cats. Before we had cats, I would have said dogs, definitely. And when we moved into our first flat together, Em kept going on, I want a cat, I want a cat, I want a cat. And I was like, fine, we'll get a cat. I just caved. And I was a bit worried about whether a cat would be okay as an indoor pet while we went out to work and stuff. And a lady at work who actually bred cats said to me, yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine, you know, they'll just sleep all day. And when you come home, they'll be like, right, now you're home, give me food. So I agreed, and we went and got Mitzi, who was only a little baby. She was a kitten. And any misgivings I had went away as soon as I saw her little face. It was love at first sight. Absolute love at first sight. And we've had Trevor and Sebastian since. I'll tell you the stories of Trevor and Sebastian one day. But yeah, now we've got Mitzi still and Coco. But I think this walk is, I think I was feeling pretty perky when I came out, but if anything, I'm feeling a bit better. And yeah, I think when I get home, I'll just chill for a bit, have a cup of tea. Need to get some milk, actually. And then I'll have to clean my kitchen and do some washing, and I'm all right doing that. I'm all right. My back's okay. I'm good. I'm good. When I get home, I need to start that project of making a little bear, and that'll be good. I like to make things for other people. I've done paintings and other bits and pieces for people. The other day, I sent Novimpia a gift, which I'm not going to detail here. I don't think they'll see this vlog, but I don't want it all over the internet as to what I got them. But I did something for them, art-wise, and sent them a letter. Hope they receive it and hope they like it. I like to show people when they have really helped me, even if inadvertently, how much it means to me when people help give me a reason to carry on and to give me a laugh that gets the feel-good juices flowing and enable me to carry on about my day. It's not a small thing at all, and it's not to be underestimated. With my true crime channel, I don't intend to uplift anyone's mood because, of course, I'm not talking about anything that is uplifting. I am trying to bring awareness to crimes. I'm trying to tell stories. With this channel, I'm not trying to make people laugh either. I'm telling people the truth, and I'm telling people all about my life. And this is, I suppose this channel is kind of selfish in a way. It's me yammering about what I want to yammer about and not giving a shit whether people like it or not. There's a lot of mud. I'm just trying to walk, not through it, but sort of like navigate where it's not so muddy, because I don't want to get stuck or slip. Ugh. I've said before, I'm not steady on my feet. I have very weak ankles. I'm somewhat dyspraxic at the best of times. Reminds me, I must get on and do some yoga later. No excuse, I've got the room at home to do it now, and I've got a mat and all that. It's just lovely fresh air. I can't tell you how therapeutic it is just to walk in the woods, just to realise you're part of everything and not above it, not below it, not exempt from it, not in addition to it, you're part of it. It's very affirming. Just enjoying, not doing anything, just being here. Just being. So much power in that, so much tranquility and peace, and just being. When I'm at odds with the world, I just need to come somewhere like this. Not saying I was at odds with the world earlier, maybe I was a little, but I feel so much more chill now. A bit like how I felt after going to the rage room. If you saw that in my last video, I absolutely decimated a toaster, which they said I could not decimate. I bashed the living shit out of that damn thing. It was not a brave little toaster after all. And I tried to do the same to a telephone and a keyboard, but they were pretty sturdy. But the toaster, that had it coming. And I threw loads of crockery at a wall. There's a part of a wall that's the only part of the wall that you're supposed to use to smash things against. And some of the mugs and plates refuse to break. So I would pick them up if they came anywhere near me when they came to hit the wall. And I'd try and hit them again. And some of them didn't, so I wasn't going to climb over all the crockery to get it. But it was good fun. I would absolutely recommend it as a day out. Some of my friends said, oh, shall we do it together one day? Yeah, that will be fun. And it is actually cheaper if you go as a group as well. But yeah, I went on my own just to see what it was all about. And so I'm trying to do different things that kind of challenge me a bit, things that I think will be good for me, but also experiences. Like my wife actually had a bucket list that she started to put together, but she didn't get a chance to fulfill much of it. And one of them was to hold a tarantula. I think I might do that for her. I think I'll go to London Zoo because I know they have entomologists who can, professional handlers who can help you with that, and you can hold a tarantula. I'd rather do that rather than go around someone's house who's got one. And what else? I'm not skydiving. After what happened to Steve and Hilda, that case still haunts me. No, I'm not doing it. I don't know. I wouldn't mind going on holiday. I haven't been on holiday for 15 years. Last time I went on holiday, Em and I went to Brighton. We had 2 honeymoons. We went to Brighton each time. We didn't go. I haven't been out of the country since I was 10, and even then it was a day trip to France with a school. So yeah, I'd like to go on holiday, but I need to make sure somebody can look after the cats. I think a couple of times Emma and I tried to go away for a night or two I think we were going to a wedding or something, and we ended up having to only be gone for the day because our cat sitter let us down and we didn't trust anyone else. But now I have a couple of friends who I do trust, and I'd need them to stay at my flat and look after my cats for me. But where I'm going to go, I'm not sure. I thought about Scotland, but that might be a bit too far to go on my own. But it would be nice to have some time away on my own and not have any need or responsibility that I need to attend to immediately. But yeah, I'm going to figure out certain things that I want to do, places I want to go. I don't like travelling. I'm not a traveller. But maybe travelling a little will do me some good, I think. So that's something I'm going to explore. And I want to start writing again. That is my number one absolute top passion of all time. It's my first love. And nothing compares to it. Even art, which I am finding is helping me a lot right now. Writing trumps everything in my life. It's what I always wanted to do since I was a child. I've written and published a novel. I want to do more. I want to write more poetry. I want to do a collection of short stories. I've had ideas for many different stories, and if you're going to take one and see it all the way through to the end, that's some feat. It's a lot more work than people think. It's exhausting. But if I can do a collection of short stories, that might satisfy my urge to, I've come up to this idea and that idea, and then I've got this idea and that idea. So I can explore all of them in short stories. So I'm still trying to navigate the mud. But the way I'm feeling right now is I'm okay today, but I might not be okay tomorrow. It might be fleeting. Just seen someone I know, said hello to them. Their dog came up and put their muddy paws on me. I've had a couple of dogs do that. That's all right, don't mind. It's the worst things that can happen. And I'm coming to the end of the walk now. The car park is just there. So, I'm feeling good. However long this will last, I don't know, but I'm certainly going to take advantage of it. I'm certainly going to realise, if I'm feeling good, to appreciate it. And if I'm okay, know that I may not always be okay, and that's okay. I've been Airy Berry. This has been Reinden Woods for the third walk of this channel. See you later, bye.